Welcome. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a speed boot underdog, let's call it. And that boot is the New Balance Furon V7 Plus Pro, bit of a name. But again, before we get into the review, if you are enjoying the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. But getting into this boot, it's something that if you've watched the reviews out there, it's really well received, but still something that you don't see enough, general people buying and playing, and which is a shame because, as I guess I'm hoping to show you why this is such a good boot. It has been now superseded by the Furon V8. I've had that in hand a couple times at the store, and it's again very nice. But I guess I'll be focusing mainly on the V7, I guess, with my experience with the boot. So I guess to sort of summarize what it is and then sort of break it down. So this is the speed boot offering from New Balance. It's an incredibly lightweight package. This only weighs 180 grams, and it offers a very soft, very comfortable upper. So it's something that, you've got aggressive traction, really comfortable upper. I'll explain a little bit more how it sort of locks your foot in, and yeah, it's just got, so much going for it, which I guess is sort of saying something like, I got these probably midway last year, and they quickly found their place in my game day boot rotation. And like, that's sort of saying something. Like, if you look over my shoulder, like, I've got plenty to choose from. Like, you've got the Mercs, pick a generation of Merc. There's Neo Beta 3s there. There's so much other options I could be picking instead of a pair of New Balance boots. And I guess that's sort of what I want to talk about today, is why this is something I was still, out of all the options I could, grab and go and play a game in, why these kept on popping up into my game day bag towards the end of the season once I actually, owned the pair. So first I wanted to talk about the upper. So I was literally standing there just before, looking at my boot wall and going, how can I describe this upper, and what does it compare to that, a majority of people might have experienced? And, I grabbed the Mercurials, and that's different. It's a knit. That just has a completely different feel to it. It's not as soft as this. And the boot I actually found in my collection that this might be a bit of a hot take, but the closest feel, response, and again, just experience of this upper was this. A kangaroo leather Tiempo. And honestly, if you look at how like it flexes and responds, and then you look at the New Balance, like, it's near identical. And honestly, like, if you had your eyes closed and you just felt the upper, and then you grabbed the other one and felt the upper, it's so similar. Like, I honestly wasn't expecting this to be the boot that, in terms of uppers, because this was never marketed as a, leather substitute or anything even like that. It was just a knitted upper that was really soft. But yeah, it's honestly very close to this, which again, people absolutely love this Tiempo. And being, the Tiempo 9 being the last kangaroo leather Tiempo, it is sort of special. But to have near a kangaroo leather Nike product upper on a synthetic is, it's super impressive. Honestly, like, it's such a comfortable boot. And like, let's not forget, like I mentioned, this only weighs 180 grams. Like, not that being the lightest boot in the world is all that important, but only 180 grams and a super soft upper. And then I guess the other boot that it does compare to pretty directly is the Vapor. So this is a 13. So this was sort of, they were pretty direct competitors when these were both out brand new. And you can see in terms of the sole plate and stud pattern how similar they are with stud placement and chevron studs in both sides. But also, like, if you're curious, these weigh about 190 grams, and these are 10 grams less. Like, and then not to mention that obviously the New Balance boots don't sell for anything like the Nike products do. So one, they were cheaper brand new. And then also, like right now, because the V8's out, these are so cheap. They're so cheap. You can get some really, really good deals on them. And yeah, like I guess to continue with it, it is a pretty snappy upper. That's the wearable finish that we had on this colorway, that sort of blue chrome, and it just goes to sort of a light blue plastic underneath. But more, I guess, about this. So it's the Hypoknit upper. So again, super soft and impressive, but another unique thing with this is that really off-centered lacing system that it does a really good job of pulling, you know, all of this material across your foot. So it's actually sort of bringing all of this up and around and really hugs your foot really nicely, but not being like the Mercurial where it's a like, you know, that super tight barefoot feeling. Like it's still barefoot and, you know, responsive, but it's a lot more comfortable. And with the, it's like a lace cover essentially. And, you know, I wouldn't say it's a big shot shield or anything like, you know, you got in the old, you know, the T90s or the Phantom Venoms and that sort of stuff. But I actually found, again, that was something that I got stood on a couple times at the top of my foot, and that just provided a little bit of protection because this is much more a soft knit and this does go to a harder sort of plastic. You can actually hear it. So that was one thing that, again, may not have been intentional or the original design or point of that little bit of material, but I actually found that was just nice to have a little bit of protection if you do get stood on the top there. And another thing, I guess, comparing to the Mercurial is the heel. Like the amount of padding in the back here, not just right at the back of the heel, but on the sides as well. It's so comfortable. Like it's really nice. So again, when you're adding a very, very lightweight product, an aggressive sole plate and stud pattern, obviously this is proven it's been all over the Nikes forever. And then an upper that's pretty close to kangaroo leather, even though it's not marketed that way. And then you also add how it wraps your foot, and then you also add how comfortable that heel is. Yeah, it was just something that, like, I kept grabbing. It was something that, it was comfortable, but still responsive. Like, I'm not going to say it's more responsive than, you know, a pair of Alphas or a pair of Mercs, because they do just, you know, lock your foot in more than what this material can offer. And again, that is mainly down to how soft it is. Like, yeah, you sort of have that gradient of really soft and really responsive, and you can never really be both because it has to sort of tailor to one of those sides. You can't have it all. So this is probably a little bit more towards soft, but still very responsive. So the lockdown is very good. It probably does lack a little bit of adjustability just with how shallow this lacing system is. But again, I feel that it's still, you know, it's wide enough to fit a lot of foot shapes. And because of how pliable that upper is, again, you know, it's pretty forgiving. But yeah, again, it's something that I really don't see enough people buying it and wearing it. Like the sporting store that's local to us, like they still have these there. This exact color still there. This was the launch colorway. And yeah, there's so many places online that you can pick these up so cheap now. And like I said, if it gives you any idea of how good these are, I'm choosing these over everything else I have in my collection multiple times last year. So yeah, just a really cool boot, a really lightweight product. It's something that I think New Balance did a really good job of just keeping it simple. Like a nice comfortable upper, a responsive sole plate. Again, it's not as crazy as, you know, a Carvo insert or, you know, the Speed Flows back in the day with the carbon. It's not that crazy, but it suits for what the boot is. I think if it was too responsive, it almost wouldn't match how soft this upper is. So yeah, it's just a really, really well-rounded boot. And yeah, more people just need to try it, is my point. So another super important thing that if you are going to consider buying these is go up half a size. So I did actually have a pair of New Balance Tequailas before this. I've actually sold them, but not due to not liking them either. They were a really good boot, but I bought them in a 9 US, which is my normal size. And then it wasn't actually until after that I started to watch more videos on that boot because I was looking forward to it. And everyone's like, go up half a size, go up half a size. And I'm like, oh no. So anyway, I got the boot. Still fits, but it was just that little bit too snug, where everyone else, like if you go watch, Noah or the other reviewers out there that are giving their opinion, especially on sizing, like they suggested, up half a size, perfect, like absolutely perfect. So this is a 9.5, even though 9's my normal size, and absolute recommend going up half a size. Very important. You might be able to get away with the true to size with how, again, pliable this upper is, but I found it was more so the length than anything else. Like everything else still fits perfect, even though this is up half a size for me. So if you are considering buying them, just make sure you go up half a size. But that's probably my overall view and I guess opinion on this boot. The Furon, super underrated. I think I will definitely try and get a pair of V8s into the collection at some time. Like I said, I have had them in hand at the store, and yeah, like the back of the heel is like this one as well. You can just see how like comfortable that is. Very impressive as well. So it would be interesting to compare the two, which I guess haven't done yet. So again, if you are enjoying the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.